We're now going to turn our attention to the role of foreign investment in China. First of all, we're going to talk to Jingjing, because setting up a business for a foreign person or a foreign company in China can be a little bit daunting. Can you tell us what the Ask China community has said about setting up shop in China?
Yeah, you know what? I think last year we saw a lot of international tourists from around the world traveling to China. Actually, at this morning's Foreign Minister Wang Yi's press conference, actually, he also mentioned that China travel become a buzzword for global tourists. And you can also see that not just by numbers. You can see all the content creators, travel vloggers. They are making contents traveling in different cities in China: Harbin, Chongqing, Chengdu, Shanghai, Shenzhen. So coming to China become a buzzword. And also in the past few years, I met so many students from all around the world come to study at top Chinese universities. So come to China, live and study in China becomes a trendy thing, and now people want to work in China. So in the community, we got several questions relating to, about how to find a good job or how to start their own business in China. For example, someone asked, if some foreigners want to start a small business in China, what kind of support can they get from the government? And are there any financial aids or preferential policies? Another person also asked, for those interested in starting tech startup in China, what are the current trends and the market gaps? So people are interested in starting their own business in China now. I'm not sure whether our guests can answer those questions too, but if any of you know the questions who already working in China, starting your own business in China, you're also welcome to go to our CGTN global community to answer those questions.
Thank you, Jingjing. And so now we're going to invite our professors back to take a slightly closer look at foreign investment and the role of it in China at the moment and the trends. So topic 3 is foreign capital massively withdrawing from China? So China clearly remains committed to opening up further and to drawing in more foreign capital and foreign businesses. And then the government work report, there was a series of measures set out which showed exactly that, several trials in the medical and education sectors particularly. However, some reports have cast doubt on the momentum of foreign investment in China over the past year or so. One from Reuters, foreign direct investment into China came in at 97.6 billion yuan in January, but that was down 13.4% from the previous year. So, Professor Wang, if we could start with you, is China still an attractive destination for foreign businesses?
Well, as you mentioned, in 2024, China absorbed the foreign investment of around 800 billion yuan, is equal about 120 billion US dollars, a year-on-year decrease of 27%. I think, it's really a very sad data. Also, it indicates that the international investment competition is extremely fierce. Because due to the factors such as interest rate hikes and capital market growth, the United States remains the most attractive country for foreign investment. But even that, China is not bad either, because China attraction of foreign investment, although China attraction of foreign investment has decreased, it is still one of the 3 countries in the world that attracts the more foreign investment. More importantly, in 2024, China established 59,000 foreign investment enterprises, a year-on-year increase of 9.9%. And moreover, the actual use of foreign investment in medical equipment, professional technology service, and computer manufacturing increased by 98%, 40%, and 21% respectively. This indicates that China's attraction of foreign investment has become a more higher quality. And another very interesting data I want to share with you is that in 2024, China outward direct investment reached over 140 billion US dollars, making it the world's most important outward investor. So from this data, I don't agree I do not agree with so-called foreign capital withdrawing China and other negative opinions about China. To be precise, China remained one of the most worthwhile country for investment in the world. And at the same time, China is becoming the world's most important investor. So this is my observation.
Professor Wang indicated that the type of investment coming into China has changed. It's a higher quality type of investment. So it's kind of a structural change rather than just a simple decrease. Could you tell us why you think that might be happening, if you agree with his sentiment?
Well, yes, I agree. And first of all, I also want to echo what Professor Wang Wen said. The whole things about foreign companies withdrawing from China is factually wrong. And because, yes, there's some concern in foreign companies, particularly US companies, but not less to do with China, but to do with the US government, whether Biden's decoupling and the de-risking or Trump's threat, including just a few weeks ago, the investment kind of memo and the White House release. This is really want to ban any kind of trade, investment with China. Now, Wang Wen was right that the U.S. did well in the past few years in terms of attracting foreign investment. But now people worry about under the Trump administration, the trade war against every country, including American Airlines, will change that. And also that the American domestic instability or this the current tensions with the racial, culture, or you name it, the economic disparity, all this raise a concern about the U.S. Market and etc. This could unfold in China's favor. Now, the question is that, of course, that China's economic challenges partially related with China's own economic structure change from previous export-led development with a huge emphasis on property development. That development strategy is already over. So therefore, that will relate to some of the economic slowdown. But on the other hand, I think that it's a global economic slowdown or structure change, and especially U.S.-led containment against China, as I discussed earlier on. So here is the real issue that we should look at whether China's basic in its economic prospects is good or bad. I think it's very good because China has the world-class infrastructure. China's manufacturing sector occupy the 30% of the world, just like the US and EU combined. This tells you how powerful the engineering force, China's human resources in terms of engineers, and China's recent IT, AI, and the deep seek, etc. And the Chinese government rightly emphasizes new energy, alternative energy, and the digital economy. These are all the things that are right. Now, let me end with one thing. Now, people still may be cynical about China's market. But actually nowadays, we talk about protectionism. Usually we do not talk about China. We talk about the United States. That's a fact. This is also not only just Chinese scholars talk about that. American scholars also emphasize the current situation, especially under Trump administration. That's deep worry. Now, if China's market is not good, so tell me which market is good? EU, Middle East, Africa, and Central Asia or United States. The problem is that each market has some challenges. Relatively speaking, China's market is still huge. Maybe the only good market is Singapore, but Singapore is so small and too expensive, it cannot compare with China's huge market or US huge market. So let's be realistic. So I think this is not the question I raised. I think the Chinese entrepreneurs and many others and the foreigners will all review that one. I think stability is important. China maintains social political stability. And I think this is very, very important. Maybe, of course, that it's through the Chinese own system and maybe emphasize on security. But on the other hand, which country is not emphasizing security nowadays? So I think that some of the criticism of China is really out of context without comparing with other countries. So my view is really similar to Wang Wen. I think all is, as someone said, the next China is still in China in terms of huge market development.
Dr. Li Cheng right now talking about a very important phenomenon for Chinese market. Let me analyze those opinions. Why those foreign investment talking about withdrawal in China? Because one very important background is that now China domestic market competition are very, very serious. And those domestic entrepreneur, I mean a Chinese domestic entrepreneur, their competition and capacity are very, very strong. And it's not very easy if international company enter the China market. Now it's not very easy to earn money because the domestic competition of China are very, very serious, and not like the 30 years ago or 40 years ago, 20 years ago. For example, the fast food, McDonald's or KFC, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when they enter China market, they very easy to earn money, right? But now China fast food industry make progress very quickly, and then some voice some will happen that foreign investment withdraw China. So I think this is the background of those opinions.
Can I add one thing? That certainly Wang Wen raised a very important phenomenon, the competitiveness of the Chinese company they face. It's not the state, but the private entrepreneurs, their companies. And but I still wanted to add one thing. I think it's very, very important to provide the good investment environment for foreigners. I think Chinese government emphasis on inclusive growth should be more effectively implemented because when China becomes so competitive, we should also have empathy and also really continue to reduce the negative list, but also provide a good environment. Now, again, Wang Wen and I all agree that some of the issues is not necessarily because of China, but on the other hand, because China is already a very important economic giant, and inclusive growth, whether for global South or for Europe and the United States, is very, very important. Now, this gives tremendous pressure with the EV or many other things for countries like Europe and Germany and also in Asia. I think that it's a challenge for Chinese leadership how to really make the cake bigger and provide domestic investment. I think that it's China's best interest, in everyone's best interest, that the people-to-people exchange, like this kind of economic exchanges continue to grow, especially in the case of China with Global South, with EU, not just one, built road countries and etc.